welcome everyone. My name is Luis Antonio Pichardo, and I'm the founder and executive director of DSTL Arts. DSTL Arts, as I call it, is a nonprofit art mentorship organization that inspires, teaches, and hires emerging artists from underserved communities. It's also my pleasure to be the publisher of actually multiple zines, including our Aurtistic Zine, which is the product of a 12-week series of workshops that happens 3 times a year. That is for adults, and anybody is welcome to join. And also the reason why we're here today, which is the release of our zines called Block Zine and Aurtistic Zine. For those of you that are contributors and here to share in the celebration, congratulations on being published in our latest issues. Give yourselves a round of applause. You know, the virtual round of applause. I'd like to share right here. So this is the physical copy of the actual zine art block. This issue right here is volume 5, issue number 2. This one normally would actually come out every spring, around May. And we have in here some amazing artwork done by multiple people that are already in the chat now. You guys that are contributors will actually be getting a free copy of this zine in the mail in the coming week. We also have here Aurtistic Zine, Advocacy. Aurtistic Zine, this one is actually volume 2, issue number 1. Yeah, a little raise the roof right there from the lead, honestly. This right here features also artwork that is contributed by multiple people in the chat now. Or in the group now. And this one in particular is open to individuals with autism and their family members. And so this one is a very special zine. I think that this one for me and for Melina and Tanya in particular, you know, this one is very close to their heart as the founding editors of Aurtistic Zine. These 2 zines here, you might have taken a guess already, they're in multiple volumes now. Volume 2 for Aurtistic Zine means that it's in its 2nd year of publication now. It's about halfway through its 2nd year, so it's like a year and a half. And Block Zine is now 5 full years of being in existence. So 5 years ago, when Aurtistic Zine started, so did Block Zine. And those 2 zines are now entering their 6th year of publication. And you know, these are some pretty big milestones, I would say, for a tiny little nonprofit like DSTL Arts. And none of it would be possible without you, the people that are here supporting, those of you that have contributed to the zine and will continue to do so. So I want to say first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for sharing your work with us. It's a real privilege to be able to see the work of our community members. So with that, I'll pass it on to our editors. For each zine, they'll talk to us a little bit about, you know, what went into making these zines happen. First, let's start off with Tanya and Adolfo, who are the editor-in-chief, the current editor-in-chief and art director of Aurtistic Zine. And we'll also give a chance for Melina Chavarria to also talk to us a little bit about what it was like to start Aurtistic Zine as our founding editor. So, Tanya, Adolfo, feel free to take it away.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Aurtistic is very, near and dear to our hearts, like Louis said. Our son, Fox, is autistic, and we met Melina by chance at an event a couple of years ago, and it kind of was her brainchild, and she kind of was gracious enough to invite us to be part of it. And this issue is really important, I think, just unfortunately very timely, more so than when we originally came up with the concept. At the time, I was mostly in the frame of mind regarding advocating for my son for in regards to school, with the just certain things that I wasn't comfortable with, and feeling like he was already being profiled as a troublemaker because of some, behaviors that he was exhibiting at school. So that was where my frame of mind was at the time, especially with him being, a brown boy. And then, 2020 just kind of snowballed. And as we, the days and weeks and months progressed, just the theme of advocacy, just, I believe, was more timely, like I said, than we had anticipated. But at the time, we worked together. We met with Melina, we met with Luis, and we came up with the idea for the cover art. Just kind of taking the likeness from some of our past contributors, and putting signs for them to, kind of just visually, obviously, display, advocacy. And we were really happy with the outcome. We also tried something really new, which was interview questions, which I wasn't sure how that was going to translate over, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised with everyone that answered the call for the interview questions and the thoughtful answers and insight that provided. So that's something that we will continue to do for the foreseeable future. And now I'll let our art director discuss the process of the cover, just kind of like maybe the direction that me and Melina provided and how you implemented it.
Well, I finished it a while ago, so but I do remember meeting up and like I think I sketched some like two really rough like thumbs, and Melina and Tanya really liked them, so we kind of went with that. The ones I had sketched out, and it was pretty cool. I really like the way they turned out, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially trying to put the faces of those people that have contributed to our to the zine. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun. And then I think, yeah, so that was pretty much it.
And really quickly, I just wanted to thank everybody that contributed, everyone that answered the interview questions, and of course, Melina for her guidance even now, even though she's no longer editor-in-chief, she is always providing me with, guidance and insight and helping me when I hit a wall. So thank you. And to all our contributors, thank you. So thank you so
It's nice having a little cameo by Fox there in your video. So Melina, would you like to share a little bit about why you wanted to start Aurtistic Zine for us? And being that this was your last issue as editor-in-chief, why the advocacy issue was important for you?
Definitely. So thank you everyone for contributing these last 3 zines that we made and making this idea, this dream possible. Thank you for Tanya for continuing on the work. This idea came even before I met Tanya. I make my own comics. I'm an indie comic creator. And one of the things that I really noticed is that my sons are very artistic. They're very talented. They're both on the autism spectrum. And sometimes, obviously they have their different challenges and how they learn, how they interact and engage with other people, how they function in the world. But that doesn't mean that they don't have talents and that they don't have strengths. And as I have been navigating like the comics industry and just like the whole process of making art, I'm always thinking about them and how, like, in the future they can make their own comics or other art creations that they're making, what opportunities will be available out there for them. And I just really wanted to, like, kind of pave the way and start, you know, creating a network for them so that when they are ready to be out there promoting their own work, they already have a community of people that are supporting them, that are familiar with them, that are going to cheer them on and helping them be successful as artists. So I actually met Tanya through the comic and zine circle because they are also very artistic and creative. And so we met at East LA Cape a few years ago in person, because I think we're Instagram friends for a long time, Instagram fans for a long time of each other. But when we met in person, we're able to, I just like shared this idea with her that, you know, what if we joined forces and we're able to provide a platform for autistic individuals and their family members to share their talents with us. So she seemed to like the idea. I think she didn't realize how much it was going to be, how quickly it was going to happen either. I didn't either, because I really, for those of you that are either autistic or are, you know, loved ones of autistic family members, you know that sometimes we have to kind of go at our own pace, at our own timeline. We don't like kind of function with other people's timelines. And so I really didn't think it was going to happen as fast as it did. But when I shared with Luis that this idea that I had, and that I had a partner, Tanya and I were going to be doing this together, he said, wow, I really want to support you guys with your idea because it really falls in line with the mission of my organization. And I thought, you know, Luis has done such incredible work with DSTL Arts, and I felt like it would be the right thing to do to have the zine kind of launch under this organization. And you know, very grateful that he's gave us the opportunity, and that it's going to continue on with the organization. I unfortunately have had several health problems this year that I just couldn't continue to put my priority and emphasis into the zine and give it the attention that it needed. And obviously, you know, with the virus, with everything that's happened this year, we've all had to shift gears, and I'm sure Tanya has had to do the same thing too. But focusing on homeschooling the kids, it's a lot, and I'm enjoying it. But I just knew that I couldn't give the zine the full attention that I wanted it to. But I know that it's in good hands with Tanya and with Luis and Adolfo as the art director, and all of you that have contributed to it, that we've made it all possible. So the platform is there for you to share with us your voice. And I know that we're always looking for you know, opportunities for you guys to just further get involved so that the zine and, you know, its intent continues to live on.
Thank you, Melina. Yes, you know, the zine, I feel pretty confident in saying that it's in good hands, in Tanya's hands and Adolfo's hands, and your baby will definitely live on. So thank you, Melina, for bringing this idea to me, and for giving me the privilege of being the publisher through DSTL Arts.
Thank you for a vote of confidence, you guys.
Well, you know, you're definitely proving yourself in the last two issues, and so this third issue is definitely, I think, an excellent transition issue. And for those of you that are interested in submitting work to the next issue, Tanya right now has been actually doing a call for interviews, and so feel free to reach out to Tanya. And through our website, you can always learn more about how to actually submit to our zines, which I'll share with you in a little bit. But to sort of also give us background on Art Block Zine and this current issue of Art Block that is being released, I'd like to have Jeremy, our editor-in-chief. Jeremy Arias has actually been a student of mine for a very long time now. I'm very proud to say that first, when he came into my life, he was part of the arts mentorship program. And, you know, I had the privilege of actually publishing a few of his short stories and in the form of chapbooks. So when it came time to select a new editor-in-chief after we kind of started growing the zine a little bit, you know, this year with some of the transitions with COVID and everything, you know, it was kind of a unique transition, right? But Jeremy has certainly pulled this off, and I think that Art Block Zine has a lot to owe to both him and our art director, Roque Torres, who isn't able to join us today, but Roque's artwork is actually all over our latest issue of Art Block Zine. He is our cover artist. You know, did the work on the front and back cover, also the work on the interior covers, and several of the other illustrations that kind of are peppered throughout the zine itself, such as this one. So shout out to Roque Torres. If you guys aren't following him on Instagram yet, I highly recommend you check him out. And you can always learn more on our website as well. But Jeremy, if you're in the house, I'd like to let you talk a little bit about, you know, Out of the Spotlight and the theme for this issue.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Can you hear me all right, please? Yeah, cool. All right. So Out of the Spotlight is the first scene that I see under myself as editor-in-chief. And one of the things, the ideas that we were talking about when we first brought this idea into proliferation was just it was kind of like we wanted to show what is it that we have, you know, behind the scenes, basically. What are some of the emotions, the things that we show that that we kind of display outside in our art, but not, you know, kind of what we have inside, but not outside. And one of the very first ideas that we had in Art Block was that it's somewhat like a love letter to Los Angeles. So we wanted to keep this something open to LA artists, show what's going on behind their scenes, what goes on in their lives, what inspires them to bring out their art. And it was just very nice being able to see these ideas flourish, seeing what other artists around LA had to say. And, you know, it doesn't feel empty. There's a lot of great illustrations by Roque in there. I highly recommend you guys check out some of his work. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, and you know, as Jeremy was saying, you know, the real idea behind Art Block Zine itself is it is essentially an ongoing love letter to LA. So it is specific to residents of Los Angeles County, and we have gotten some excellent work that I feel represents what it's like to live in LA. And you know, all of the issues, the back issues, are all available on our website, as are the back issues of Aurtistic. You know, and if you want to really see what it's like to be a resident of our community, you know, feel free to pick up any of the zines that DSTL Arts produces. So speaking of the website, I'd like to take a quick moment right now to actually share with you, you know, what it looks like, and also how you can submit to our zines. So hopefully you're able to see the screen here. But this is the homepage to our website. It's dstlarts.org, which you can hopefully see up here in the top corner there. If not, don't worry, I'll drop it into the chat. But to learn more about our zines, you just simply hover over programs. This is our mentorship program, which works specifically with emerging artists from underserved communities, helping them develop skills and learning how to publish their work. Our newest program, which unfortunately this year is actually on hiatus, is our Poet Artist in Residence program. You're welcome to read about that, as well as our artist residency workshops, which this one actually is returning this year. I'll be updating that portion of our website fairly soon with information about the next series that's coming up. It's going to be called Héroes de Los Ángeles. I did mention earlier, one of the very first zines that we started publishing was the Conchas y Café zine. It is a 12-week workshop series that happens 3 times a year. We're actually about the halfway mark of our first 12-week cycle, but there's still time to join, so feel free to click there if you want to learn more and how to join. Here is how you can find out about Art Block Zine. So just simply hover over programs, go to Art Block Zine, and once you tap on there, you'll be taken to this lovely page. And it gives you background on Art Block, which, as you can see, it is a student-led program that actually produces biannual zine. This is our current call for submissions. So this is the theme right now for Volume 6, Issue 1. The theme is Word on the Street. And Jeremy and I and Roque are working now on reviewing people's work for this next issue. As you can see here, our publishing deadlines, while we do take submissions throughout the year at any time of the year, if you want to be featured in the winter issue, you would need to submit on or before November 1st. And even though this current issue, the Out of the Spotlight issue, is being released a lot later than normal, the summer issue is normally going to have a deadline of May 1st. We always like to provide you with a little quote to sort of inspire you and hopefully get you, thinking about what it is that we're looking for. We accept poetry, flash fiction, and creative nonfiction. Comics, we also take fine art and illustrations as well as photography. It is free to submit, so you never have to pay to submit to our zines, either Art Block or Aurtistic. And if you are featured in any of the issues, you do get a free copy mailed to you, at least right now in the time of COVID. And yeah, if you want to learn more, you just simply click on this button right here where it sends you to our submittable page, where you'll actually be able to do both Aurtistic and Art Block Zine submissions. Now, if you want to learn more about Aurtistic Zine, you just simply go over here to the Programs tab, and again, hover all the way down to reach Aurtistic Zine. Here, you'll find information about the zine itself. Again, this particular zine is specifically for individuals who identify as being autistic, as well as their family members. So if you have a family member who also practices art and would like to talk about, living as part of the community and advocating for individuals with autism, you're welcome to share with them the same information. Again, the submission period is ongoing. So Aurtistic Zine, just like Art Block Zine, does accept submissions throughout the year. The spring issue, which is normally the issue number 1 of the publishing volume, has a deadline of March 1st. We've been extending these deadlines, so feel free to follow us on social media to know when we do extend the deadlines. The current issue, our fall issue, this is the information for it. So this would be Volume 2, Issue number 2. Creation Through Chaos is the theme. We have extended this deadline to October 1st, so you still have about half of a month left to actually submit to Aurtistic Zine should you want to. Same as Art Block, we accept poetry, flash fiction, or creative nonfiction, comics, fine art and illustrations, and photography. And just like I said, it is free to submit, and you get a free copy if your work is selected. So, feel free to visit these websites. And again, click on the button that says View Complete Submission Guidelines and submit here to then be taken to the actual page. And, this is the page that you'll be taken to, Aurtistic Zine submission form. If you click on the DSTL Arts logo there, you'll be taken back to our website if in case you need to. And yeah, hopefully that answers any questions about how to submit. And before we open it up to our artists, obviously, I'm sure everyone wants to know what the zines look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen one more time, and I'm gonna share with you what our latest issues look like. At any time you have any questions throughout the session, please feel free to use the chat. Also, if you haven't signed up yet for the open mic portion, you can do so now in the chat. So if you're able to see my screen, here you'll see the cover, front and back cover of Aurtistic Zine, Volume 2, Issue Number 1. As we said before, Adolfo Reyes did an amazing job illustrating this particular issue. Adolfo, you're an amazing artist, man. Thank you for being our art director. We have here the interior covers. Here you can, put your own messages that you would like to put in and share with the world if you want to share your copy of the zine. The zine does feature a lot of artwork from past artists who have submitted to us, which include obviously our editors, Tanya and Melina, but we also have work in here by Esme Flores, Jose Cardenas, Isaac Madrigal, Alex Andy Fong, Kylie Allen, Jaime Arenas, or Jamie Arenas, Harrison Herstick, Miss Michelle Smith, and her son Chris Acuguilo, and Genesis Gonzalez. So as you go through, you'll see, we have a lot of interviews that were contributed. We also have, some excellent artwork, visual artwork there, and short stories, poetry, and all sorts of other goodies. So, this particular issue is available on our website now. You can actually go to distillarts.org/shop and you can purchase a copy. And like I said, all of our contributors will be actually getting your copy in the mail soon. And this right here, if you still on the screen, is Art Block. So this is Art Block Zine, Volume 5, Issue Number 2, Out of the Spotlight, with artwork featuring artwork by multiple people, but our art director specifically, Roque Torres, is the one who contributed our front and back cover there, as well as the interior covers too. This particular issue also features work by Alex Andy Fong, as well as Angel Cruz, Alison Segura, Yahaira Sesmas, Noah Humphrey, Wesley Vega, Funaki, Jacqueline Valenzuela, Jose in LA, who's in the house today, Fuzaro, and of course, Roque Torres and Jeremy Arias, our art director and editor-in-chief. So this one's name is Aurtistic Zine. You just flip through and you'll be, I think, overwhelmed by the quality of the artwork. So I want to say thank you to all of our contributors. This is an excellent zine that shows us the process of creating artwork, what it's like to, sort of navigate the world as it is right now. It's honestly no surprise that our zines, both Aurtistic and Art Block, this time around deal with some of the issues surrounding COVID-19 and our social distancing. So, yeah, I hope y'all enjoy the zine once you get it physically in your hands. And with that, I think I'd like to open it up to our artists. So to be able to read from our zine, or your own work, does not have to be the work that's featured in the zine. If you haven't yet, drop your name into the chat and we'll call on you. But to start us off, first I want to say please mute your microphones to give everybody their full space, right, for participating. And if you have any questions after they're done reading, feel free to unmute and you're welcome to ask a question. I want to make this as interactive as possible. So we'll get started, I suppose, with Melina Chavarria, our former editor-in-chief of Aurtistic Zine. Let's give her our virtual round of applause. Some snaps going there for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to share a poem I wrote in this latest zine that's just got published, Advocacy. Poem that I wrote for my son Elias. When I thought about advocacy, we really were thinking about like how do autistic individuals self-advocate themselves, also as parents and family members, how do we advocate for them? And as we started to get submissions in, and the more we got into the work, I felt like, you know, you realize like that in a lot of ways, like how my kids were using their own voice, how they already self-advocate, and sometimes like as parents or society, like we're not tuned in and really listening to what they're trying to tell us. So that was like the inspiration behind this. And the poem is called Your Voice. And it says, they told me your words were delayed 4 years. I waited for the sweet sound of your voice, for you to say, Mommy, I love you, for you to say anything really. I vowed to always protect you, advocate for you, and be your voice until you could finally do it for yourself. I wanted you to find your own voice, be unafraid to speak your mind, use your words for good, for you to speak out against injustice, say yes to what makes your soul sing, say no to the things that hurt your heart. Finally, the words did come one by one. You discovered your voice, that words could give you access to all of the things you were hungry for, cookie, milk, more. The words were slow, but they were powerful, helping you build the world you wanted to create. All of the years I waited, failing to see all of the ways you were already speaking. You pointed, pulled me, or brought me the things you wanted. You spelled words with blocks, wrote on the chalkboard, cried with frustration when I didn't understand. More importantly, you always told me you loved me, even when you couldn't tell me. You always showed me with your hugs. All of those years I waited, but when I finally stopped to listen, I could see you had a voice all along.
Excellent. Thank you, Alina. Let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions from Alina about what it was like writing this poem?
It's okay.
Yeah, it seems like everybody just simply enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, for sure.
Oh, thank you.
So I guess we'll continue on then if no one has any questions. If you do have any questions, obviously afterwards, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can always accommodate that later. But up next, I'd like to present to you one of our contributors to.
Sorry, I had a question,
Oh, yeah,
but I couldn't figure out the unmute. I think it's beautiful, especially the part where you said, I'm paraphrasing something about that say yes to the things that make your soul sing and no to the things that I don't know if it was hurt you or are bad for you. That was beautiful. I mean, that's good.
Hurt your heart, yeah.
That's good for anybody. I mean, that's great advice. I mean, I have a son who's just going to turn 14, so that's something I'm going to pass on to him. And thank you for that. That really touched me.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
You're welcome. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jose. Those. See, I love it when people connect with everyone else's artwork.
Oh, that really, those words right there. I mean, the whole poem was beautiful, but those two phrases really like sunk in.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful writing. Beautiful. It's heartfelt. I could see the love for your child. I don't know if he's a boy or a girl, but
It's a boy, yeah.
Boy, yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Excellent. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for Melina before we move on? Yes, Miss Susie, I see that you have your hand up, but you're muted. If you're able to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
So I just wanted to say to you, I loved your piece. And can you hear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I love your piece, and that what I have been so appreciative of the magazine, the zine, is that we have become, I think, in the short issues that we've had, that you've had, that we become each other's voice through the struggle to find our voice in it. So your sense of cathartic experience in this poem that you did for him by sharing with us is like understood like it was very healing experience for you because it expanded your love of understanding each other. But your experience through this book, this zine, becomes our tool by the sharing of it, and you unleash those feelings that all of us have gone through as moms and kids with autistic children. So it's a beautiful poem for you, but at the same time, you've made it for all of us as parents with children with autism. So I thank you for that. It was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Always call hear from you, Miss Susie.
Very powerful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your insights. Melina, thank you for sharing your poetry. It is obviously, striking a chord. So that's always great to get that kind of feedback from your audience. So up next, one of our more prolific writers, and like I said, a contributor to both Art Block Zine and Aurtistic Zine now, basically for the past 2 years. I'd like to present to you Alex and Yvonne.
Hi everyone. So I actually want to do something very special. I think reading my poetry will be a bit boring, so if everyone's okay with it, I'm willing to sing the song Show Yourself from Frozen 2. Okay, let's do it. Every inch of me is trembling, but not from the cold. Something is familiar, like a dream I can reach but not quite hold. I can sense you there, like a friend I've always known. I'm arriving there, and it feels like I am home. I have always been a fortress, cold secrets deep inside. You have secrets too, but you don't have to hide. Show yourself, I'm dying to meet you. Show yourself, it's your turn. Are you the one I've been looking for all of my life? Oh, show yourself, I'm ready to learn. I never felt so certain. All my life I've been torn, but I'm here for a reason. Could it be the reason I was born? I have always been so different. Normal rules did not apply. Is this the day? Are you the way? I finally find out why. Show yourself. I'm no longer trembling. Here I am, I've come so far. You are the one I've been waiting for all of my life. Oh, show yourself. Let me see who you are. Come to me now. Open your door. Don't make me wait. One moment more. Oh, come to me now. Open your door. Don't make me wait. One moment more. Where the north wind meets the sea. There's a river full of memory. Come, my darling, homeward bound. I am bound. Show yourself, step into your power. Grow yourself into something new. You're the one you've been waiting for all of my life. Oh, show yourself. Yes. Thank you.
Wow. Lots of rounds of applause there.
Mhm.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alex, for singing for us. That was quite a treat.
Yes.
And that also kind of feels like this song is very appropriate to our to the theme of advocacy, as well as I think for our art block theme of Out of the Spotlight. This is a great way to kind of motivate yourselves to create. I'm sure. Yeah. Anyone have any questions for Alex, relating to his singing or his process for creating poetry?
I just wanted to thank him for that. That was actually a nice little treat. Definitely braver than us. We don't do. We wouldn't be able to do that. But no, thank you. And again, I know I've said it before. Thank you so much for continuing to contribute and just your thoughtful insight and always, just being willing to, participate and engage with us. It's always a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
But anyone else have any comments for Alex Andy Fong, author, artist, and singer? All right. Well, thank you very much. I think that deserves another round of applause, sir. So very well done. Very, very well done. So up next, I'd like to present to you actually one of our regulars from our Conchas y Café Zine workshop series, as well as one of the participants in our arts mentorship program and recently published poet artist, Caro Ska. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Caro a round of applause.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so hi. Hi everybody. Thank you for everyone for sharing so far. I keep meaning to submit to Art Block, and I'm gonna do it for this issue. Definitely, I put in my calendar. But for today, I'm gonna. So I published a book with DSTL Arts right here. Yay! And Louise helped me put it together, and it was really great. It came out earlier this year in February. And so yeah, I wanted to share one of the poems in here that is about my father. And I've never met my dad. And this is kind of a little bit about the story of how I got to know him a little bit, I guess. And I've been I don't know, I've been trying to connect more. He's from Bangladesh. I've been trying to connect a little bit more with my Bengali side in the last few weeks. I thought this was appropriate to read. It's called 3.5 by 2-inch hugs. I learned my father's name from a 3.5 by 2-inch business card. I learned he's a film director living in Dhaka, Bangladesh. I want to know more, but I can't ask. My mother's irises pinwheel in pain. Instead, I type his name into a search bar. My eyes and fingers tremble. I discover my father, a documentary filmmaker. I stare at his picture, trying to see similarities. I watch him in videos. Like me, his hands are fireflies as he talks. My mom says my face reminds her of him above the nose. I email him. I am your daughter. He has no idea I exist. He shoots movies, travels from Bangladesh to India, replies when he can. I ask to see him. He says, not yet. In my youthful dreams, he was a knight. He arrived to rescue me. In my adult reality, he is a man. In my adult reality, fathers do not hatch from business cards, ready to give 3.5 by 2-inch hugs. Fathers cause purple and black bruises. Fathers drain their spouses' bank accounts for beer and cocaine. Maybe I'm lucky. Mine can only hurt me through the web. I walk away from my internet father. I wish I could say I never look back. 15 years go by, I still search for him. Are some things better seen from afar? His business card, I can't find. Did I throw it away? Why can't I remember? Like him, it slips through memory's crevices. My fingers brush his cheek, touch only pixels on a screen. And yeah, that's that poem. Thank you all for listening. And I look forward to the other people sharing.
Thank you, Caro. Thank you for sharing a very vulnerable piece, but a piece that I think we can all certainly appreciate. Let's give her a round of applause, please. Next. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Caro?
I just got to say, beautiful. It's real life. It's heartfelt. It's it really see what it feels like. I'm lucky. I had my father and mother for a long time. They passed away now, but I miss them because of death. But I really felt how it must be to not have that connection, and he's alive. I wish my dad was alive, but he's gone. So beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I remember workshopping that poem with you, Caro, and it was I could tell that it was a very sincere poem, and so to have it be a part of your collection of poems and gathering grandmother's poems, I think that it was an excellent addition. So, yeah, and I do hope that you do submit some work to the next issue of Art Block. I think that it would be a great benefit to our publication.
I know I have like the poems picked out and everything, and I think I had them picked out for like this issue. I don't know. I just gotta like do it. I gotta like set the time to actually like email it out and everything.
Yeah, well, it's ongoing, so you can submit, and this applies to everyone. You could submit to either Aurtistic or Art Block Zine at any time throughout the year. Obviously, just be aware that we do have publication cutoffs depending on the issue that you're submitting for. And to do a little plug there for Aurtistic Zine. Aurtistic Zine does have an extended deadline that actually expires on October 1st for our current issue call for submissions, which is Creation Through Chaos. So anybody hoping to submit to Aurtistic Zine, you have basically the rest of this month. And anyone interested in submitting to Art Block Zine, you have until November 1st. So it's like a month and a half. Yeah, so if anyone else has any other questions or comments for Caro, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And we'll move on to our next presenter, who to acknowledge the amazing work that our next presenter does. I am going to share my screen here really quick. He is not only a poet, but also a photographer, an amazing one at that. And I definitely recommend you follow our next presenter on Instagram, which you can find here on the screen if you're able to see it. It's at Jose in LA Photography. And Jose, for this particular issue, is instantly recognizable when you joined us to see your thinking chair, which you included a poem for us, but for those that didn't get a chance to see it, this was the photograph that was submitted by Jose. So it looks like a very comfy chair, I do have to say, and I'm in love with your typewriter there in the on the little side table. So it's one of those sort of like geeky things of mine. I love typewriters, old typewriters, and an honor of two. I very much appreciate yours. But ladies and gentlemen,
thank you
to Jose in LA. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jose in LA. As Luis said, I'm a photographer, filmmaker, writer, and this issue, this theme was the process, the artist process, and we have different processes, but mine start with thinking. And I usually sit in this chair, my thinking chair, and I wrote a piece about it that I would like to share. Obviously, it's called My Thinking Chair. My thinking chair is a vintage wing chair. It's one of the first pieces of furniture I bought when I first moved out on my own. I sit in this chair to conjure up creativity and inspiration. Some of my best creative ideas have come to me in this chair. I also sit in this chair to think things through and reflect on life. These days, I sit and wonder how different our lives are going to be after experiencing a modern day pandemic. Our world has changed so much in the past few months. How are we going to live, adapt, and create? What's next? Whatever it is, I know I will find the answer in my thinking chair.
Yeah.
You definitely get some snaps there, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have one more. Can I read one more?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for
Okay,
it.
This is based on memories of growing up in LA. This one's called Because We Gotta Eat. Hot summer day, Los Angeles, California, 1980. 65 Chevy pickup truck with lawnmowers in the back on the streets of LA. My father's driving. My little brother and I look out the window. We see the summer fun we are missing. Kids playing in parks, water balloon fights, swimming pools, Hollywood sign, Chinese theater, Sunset Strip, Whiskey A Go-Go, Beverly Hills, Tongva, water fountain, Malibu Beach, tan girls in bikinis, Santa Monica Pier, Venice Beach, Dogtown skater kids. My father drives up and parks in front of a corner house with a big lawn and tall overgrown grass. We all get out of the truck, unload the lawnmower and the edger. I look at my father and ask, Papa, why are we the only kids on the block that gotta work all summer long? My father replies, because we gotta eat. That's why, mijo, porque tenemos que comer. Then he starts up his lawnmower and starts pushing it across the tall grass, mowing it down. I start up the edger and follow behind him. My little brother grabs a rake and starts raking up leaves. Because we gotta eat, porque tenemos que comer.
Snaps, my friend. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that particular poem totally strikes a chord in me. I mean, that was that same kid too, working with my dad.
Oh, awesome.
For us though, it wasn't a 1965 pickup truck. It was actually a 1988 Ford Ranger.
Okay.
So something a little bit newer, but still kind of the same idea.
Yeah, and at the funny at the time, I hated those days when I was a kid, but now I look back and me and my brother learned a lot. The value of hard work, family. We built our family. We were able to buy a home because we all worked together. Now that my dad passed away, those were great memories. But at the time, me and my brother hated it. Every summer, all our friends would be planning their summer vacation, what they were going to do, and we knew we had to work. Yeah, and it was tough, but we had to. I mean, that's the way we were able to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it totally relate. So
yeah,
right on. Thank you for sharing such a fond memory for me and you.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks. Now I learned something about you as well. We had a similar upbringing.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like. Anyone else have any questions or comments for Jose? Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely just want to say, thank you on behalf of me, Jeremy, and Roque. Thank you for consistently sharing your work with us in Art Block Zine. And if anybody wants to pick up a copy of Art Block Zine, either this current issue, Out of the Spotlight, or the past issues, which also feature some of Jose's photography, you can do so on our website at dstlarts.org/shop. And also, if you want to submit too, we do take photography, comics, and illustrations, as well as poetry and short stories. So you're welcome to submit to either one of those events. Up next, I'd like to present to you one of our participants that first actually came to DSTL Arts through our Remembering the Riots workshop series, which was a part of our artist residency workshops program. Miss Michelle Smith and her son, Chris Acubulo, are both featured in the current issue of Aurtistic Zine. And you can, like I said, see their work. In particular, Miss Michelle this time around presented us with a series of answers to interview questions, which Tanya and Melina coordinated for this last issue. And also she shared some photos, which I'm going to take a moment right now to present on the screen so that you all can see Miss Michelle's photography while hopefully Miss Michelle gets ready to join the reading portion. So, whoops, looks like I accidentally closed that particular issue. Give me a moment here to get us back there. But if you're able to see the screen now, you should see the cover of Aurtistic Zine Advocacy, which is the issue we're celebrating today. And here we have Hope School Opens Soon by Miss Michelle Smith, which was a series of photographs featuring her son, Chris. And it seems like it's their journey around LA Trade Tech, where I believe Chris currently is attending school. So want to make sure that I got to share these with you all. And yeah, Miss Michelle, if you are ready, you are welcome to read your poetry to us. Looks like you're still muted, Miss Michelle, if you don't mind unmuting.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, and Louis, thank you for sharing that montage of Christopher. COVID has been challenging for Christopher the first 3 weeks. LA Trade Tech, I have to take him for the first 3 weeks to show him Trade Tech and in the community how things were closed. He's fine now, and he likes Zoom and Google Meet. And I just thank you for this opportunity for us, because this is part of this learning through Zoom and Google Meet. And however, even though he is an autistic young man, anyone with special needs to be learning in this way, learning versus teaching, is a difference. And I think about that often for my son. If he were half his age ago, how it would be different, especially pre-K to 12th grade, you know. However, we all are homeschooled in this way, because I am too. I wrote a poem called "We Are the Flowers That Bloom." And I wrote this in regards to tribute to what's happening in the world today. And just listen to it, everybody, and I appreciate the capital audience. It is called "We're the Flowers That Bloom," and I do dedicate this to Christopher. We are the flowers that bloom beyond the gate, planted firmly. There should be no sorrow until closed and open again for tomorrow. As buds are incredibly brighter and bountiful in the share, in the morning glory of God's care, not to be divided and conquered, all created equal for the shrub, as in Genesis, the beginning of God's love. And this is America, not all the sovereignty, the home of the brave, and certainly not the free. These flowers came from ancestors from Africa and are grown in a new strange land, chained and beaten, slavery, bravery, gravely. America is now their home. 401 years from 1619 to 2020. Many of us were here in 1992 April, Rodney King and the revolt. Mine was nearly just 6 years old. Injustice continues, for the blooms are forlorn. To explain about Medgar, Malcolm, and Martin is not enough. Protect yourself if someone bothers you, but you will not be able to, if he may wear the badge and the colors of black and blue, in the color of authority. Those flowers are no longer in the morning glory. Another statistic, another story. The bud is my son. The shrub is my son. And he is not a criminal. But where he lives in this country, he is the enemy and treated like Robert Allison's book about being invisible. Where is the bloom of Black Lives Matter? And for the cops, it's business as usual. Where does the flower now grow? Where can it thrive? Did you know the flower is autistic and is stereotyped? He has a hidden disability and a gentle giant to be described. The flower grows and reaches a new height. I don't want that bloom to wither away. That bloom could be a mother, it can be a father, brother, cousin, uncle, neighbor, or friend. Who knows what will happen in your life's end? I don't want my bloom to wither away. I don't want to be a mother crying tears to heaven for the rest of my life.
If I want to
who plucked my flower and allowed him to die. Genesis the beginning. God loves all. Protect my son, my flower, my God.
No, I did it, sweetie.
Snaps and applause all around, Miss Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Does anyone have any comments or questions for Miss Michelle about the process of creation or her poem in particular?
I just wanted to thank you, Miss Michelle, for your ongoing support and participation in the zine. Really enjoy your work and your words of wisdom.
Thank you. Because, you know, in this country, our children, no matter what color he or she is, autism is a disability. I mean, we know, unlike cerebral palsy or Down syndrome, if you have a cane with a red or white at the top or red at the bottom, or a dog or wheelchair, those are visual, right? Oh, I see this person has this person has that. And with autism, you don't see anything, and it is a disability. And this is a lifelong aspect of our lives. It doesn't stop at age 5 or 15 or 18 and all those other aspects of life. Unfortunately, unfortunately, and no one realized. I mean, we know in the society that people ask questions first, later, and shoot first. We've seen demonstrations of those things on Facebook. I mean, there was a study last week in Utah. A Caucasian young man was shot, 13 years old. And the mother told the police that he had problems, you know, or the gentleman named McLean, a 23-year-old in Colorado, or gentleman in Florida. He was a worker in his resident at his home, a shiny toy, and someone called and said it was a gun, and they shot the worker. But the other guy was not harmed. And all three of them, all four of these people have something common. They're autistic. And, you know, I have to look at it. My son does too. You saw my son's photograph earlier. I mean, he was like a typical African American man, right? Handsome, smiling, you know. At the time, but like the show about Cheers. You know, everybody knows your name, right? We all know Big Chris. I mean, you know. But the thing is this: that's just how the world is with him and the people he knows and loves. Outside that world, we don't know. And one day I'm going to pass away too. So I have to prepare him, and it doesn't stop. So we have to continue and advocate and fight the good fight. So thank you for listening to what I said, and I truly appreciate it because we never know, you know, and it's every day. And life goes on. So we got to prepare our children and arm them, equip them with their knowledge to best what they can do, and hopefully have people in place in case something happens to you. I mean, we never know, right? Just keep on living, keep on striving, and keep on surviving. After all, we're the flowers that bloom.
Absolutely, Ms. Michelle.
Well,
Absolutely. It's a very, very insightful and wise
Thank
word.
you so much.
Yes.
that bloom.
Thank you.
That bloom. Thank you, Louise. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, one thing.
go ahead.
Thank you for sharing. And this
You're
is what
welcome.
people don't understand. The police don't have training for this. They need to be trained. I've seen them. They can't tell if someone has a disability. They just want to attack. And they don't think that sometimes people don't comprehend what they're saying. And I've seen it happen in front of my face. And the police, they need training. They're not trained for that. And some of them don't. They need that training because there's a lot of people that you don't know what kind of problems they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And the police just attack. They're just trained just to attack if people don't comply.
Right. And that's sad too, because what are we supposed to do? I mean, we like in California, there's the you can have a pink dot saying donor, right? Should our children be microchipped like animals? I mean, I don't know. I mean, somehow, somewhere, right? I don't know. What's the solution to this? This could be all day topic. And it's sad too, you know, how this affects all of us. Because our children are in the community. And eventually they're gonna grow up and who knows about, you know, most likely outlive us, right? But what do we do? I remember those days. I mean, my son, he's 30+ years old now. So, you know, he's not gonna stop growing. He's gonna keep on like the Energizer Bunny. He'll keep on going. But they all go, right? But however, with our children, you've got to have anybody who's developing at the table You have to have love, hard, patience, and drive. With all those elements,
Yeah.
and the police definitely has got to step up if not already, because we'll be crushed.
Yeah. Thank you.
I totally agree. You know, it certainly is. You know, and I think that it's a training issue, and you know, the platform that we're able to share here, I think, is one way in which we can all learn to advocate for each other. Because you know, when I believe the quote is something along the lines of, you know, where there's an injustice in the world, there is an injustice for all, or something like that. And so, you know, we obviously hope that, you know, our little community here that we're able to build will be able to just continue to grow and support one another. So yeah, thank you, Ms. Michelle, thank you, Jose, for also your comments.
Thank you too.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if any of you saw, but in the chat we did have one of our attendees here actually share a poem. But I'd like to give them an opportunity to actually read it for us. Miss Deborah Portnoy, I believe, is the one that shared the poem. Miss Deborah, would you like to actually read it for us?
Hello. I'm getting used to this format. I've learned Zoom, but this all looks like different to me today. Harry. Harry is my son who spells and types to communicate. We call him Harry. He contributed to the magazine, to the question and answer session, mostly talking about his love for making all things comedic, and why he wants to look at the world and enjoys making people laugh. But this particular poem, not that funny today, but he wanted to share it today. Are you coming, Harry? Yeah. He's coming. He listens often to Zoom from the other room because watching can be a little overwhelming. He hears better than he uses his vision for most things. You ready for me to read your poem, Harry? And then maybe you can make a comment?
Yes.
Yes. Harry started he's 20 years old. He started typing at 14, and he only started typing poetry during this during this coronavirus. So a few months. He's just a budding young poet. Okay. This poem is called Friendship. Too many think liking a person makes them a friend, but it takes so much more. Friendships grow like the grass in my yard, with attention and water and love. Very few can say they put effort in a person if they don't get something in return. I believe when the sun rises, it's not just warming the grass. Talking to a friend about what they like, feeling rays of sunshine, taking in one's words, thanking anyone who answers with truth. The lawn will turn brown if you neglect it. Once established, care needs to still happen. Water, sun, love are enough.
Excellent. Thank you. Is that a poem written by Harry? Yeah.
Thank you, Harry. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Great.
So he does really enjoy stringing words together, and although he listens to many things, automated voice, he feels very strongly like that poetry needs to be read by another human, which I thought was very insightful.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Anyone
That
else?
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, great advice for anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that poem. And Harry, thank you for also sharing your answers to the interview questions that Tanya and Melina provided for this past issue. If you, like I said, want to check that out, you're more than welcome to visit our website and order a copy. Physical copies will be sent out this upcoming week to our contributors. So yeah, any last comments or questions here for Harry or Ms. Portnoy?
Just great. I mean, the way he put that together, it really, like I said, it's great advice for anybody. Sometimes we get complacent, we take relationships for granted, friends for granted, and you should never stop. It's just like the grass. If you don't water it, it's gonna turn brown. It's like I said, I learned something. Thank you.
No, it was beautiful. Like, I really resonated with the part where he was talking about you don't do something for somebody for something in return. And I love that, to do something just kind without expectations of anything in return. And I think that's beautiful. I think we could all, benefit from doing that a little bit more.
Definitely. All right. Well,
Harry type, thank you for the opportunity to share.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Harry, for sharing with us.
Yeah.
It's definitely a privilege to be able to share some of your work. We have one more reader that is joining us today. I'd like to just again, thank all of you for being here, for joining us. And I'd like to present to you John Ryan McMahon. Thanks for joining us today, and can't wait to hear your work.
Thank you. Is it all right if I read someone else's poem?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine.
This is a book that I randomly picked up, and this is now my favorite poem by Naomi Elena Quinones. It's called Mystic Mangoes Roll on LA Freeways. Atlantis calls puntitos de Dios extend from the succulent island that has become my heart. The papayas are ripe, the Creole sauce is hot, the rum is a nectar to make the orishas hold their breath as Yemaya exhales a watery sigh onto the throbbing hearts of mystic mangoes. Mystic mangoes dance on trees, a flock of fat orange birds in fruited flight sway to the rhythms of the Latinosphere. They are talking to me, the mangoes are blurting juicy sounds. Mira la gente del Caribe. One falls to my feet and proceeds to roll down a cobblestone street. I follow in hot pursuit. Go Mango, go Mango. Mango stops on Calle Luna, where a lush mulata stands, color de canela. The deep cinnamon of her skin glistens beneath her golden corn hues of her curly hair. Her eyes hold the green of the sea like a charm. Lips full move quickly over staccato syllables. A mantra of meaning shoots rapid fire into the salty air. In her arms, su hijo negrito, his silky hair a violet aura. On the chocolate satin of his face, indigo eyes focus on the mango rolling quickly past him. Go Mango, go Mango. Mango stops on Calle Sol, where a mahogany man leans bare-chested against the wall of a sky-blue church. The musculature of his face frames black almond eyes, ojos taínos. Indigenous rhythms play his cheekbones like drums. He clicks staggered clave beats with his red tongue. A plenitude of plenas undulate down his back, past the long waist of his torso, and settle on sculpted thighs that suck in sunlight, like rich Arbolito mountains, while his feet take flight over the sunset skin of a roving Puerto Rican mango. Go Mango, go Mango. Mango stops in Plaza de los Niños, where a profusion of raza proliferate. In a celebration of mestizaje, mixed bouquet of noses, eyes, mouths, colors, textures, rhythms, red-haired negras, kiss nappy-headed blondes, blue-eyed Africanos, glisten black silk skin, Moorish nomads don Panama hats. Children the color of Caribbean sand dance to Africa's driving rhythms, while men black as Roman olives reinvent the language of Spain. Here, broad noses perch on white skin, the aquiline noses on brown, high cheekbones on the short and white, flat foreheads on the tall and red. Criollo mestizaje la raza otra vez. The place, the past, is a pirate version of anything goes, and everyone goes with it. Purity curdles in the rich mixture of minds that is color-coded, to every global outbreak that has stormed the shores of this island's history. Hips sway, ocean spray, the day of mystic mangoes breathes heavily on jumpy feet and pulsating ankles. Go mango, go mango. Mango rolls up San Juan sidewalks, down Paseo de la Princesa, past bronze vendors sculpting the rainbow snows of frosty piraguas, pouring thick jugos of sweat, ajonjoli. Go mango, go mango. Mango rolls to the edge of the sea and stops on an open newspaper, blaring loud headlines of a wounded LA spring. Urban blossoms have exploded in burning wastelands. Mango talks to me in red, pulpy whispers, mira la gente de Norte America. Mango grows wings and flies about me. I jump on and am lifted past miles of sea. Go mango, go mango. We circle above an infected city. Smoke hangs heavy in a feverish rage. LA is the color of an angry mango. A fiery madness spits out its own heart. In a city overflowing with global refugees, the question of race has a political answer. The markets are bristling on a Chinatown corner. Ginger root and chicken feet make a lovely lunch. Chinese women under bright-colored parasols eye silvery fish with a persistent stare. Their pompadoured sons wear baggy pants and tank tops, reminiscent of Chicanos who spend street corners like so much spare change. In this city of syllables of Spanish irritate monotongues, and the Chinese vowels are an overwhelming insult, hence the English-only law that warns wild tongues to know their place. Go mango, go mango. Mango lands in Pico Union, where a barrio cracks under the pressure of neglect. A vata loca escapes on the wings of her painted eyebrows. The beer-breathed father, dead since birth, the bitter mother, tortured since El Salvador. Televised escape hatches have stolen their minds. They watch repetitious echoes of Latino-list programs and taco commercials that equate Mexican with lazy, brown with evil, self with hate. Mango rolls down an East LA Main Street where Azteca dancers reclaim their ancient hearts. Tonatzini and Cuauhtémoc laugh their eyes. Feathers fly, drums are beating, curanderas burn offerings, copal smoke winds through the barrio, in healing waves until sirens interrupt. The sacred rhythms and rude helmets order the gods to disperse. Headquartered reports transmit rude descriptions of bizarre pagan rituals. A blasphemous crime, Mango circles the emptiness in sacred retreat, rolls down the asphalt of a desolate street, catches the freeway on 3rd Street and Gage, and follows the scent of an impending rage. Go mango, go mango. Mango exits on Crenshaw and 127 for conga eyes beat rhythms and see more than drivers of cars passing invisible ghettos that grow brightly in orange, green, and yellow splashes. Women dance barefoot on the sidewalk, critiqued in the soft glow of gazing men who play jazz, with their eyes and trumpet velvet flirtation into the twilight air. Desire is plucked like a smooth black bass, Africano soul and jazz and funk, Africano jazz and soul and funk. Children are laughing through the hot sauce on their mouths, and oh, the day is so spicy it makes noses run and eyes water. Ebony elegance graces the drive for survival, which is cause for celebration. Africano soul and jazz and funk, Africano soul and jazz and funk. Their joy invokes the goddess of strength and sojourn. Shango the transformer laughs with the people. She sings in their veins, she dances with them on the streets and paints the walls bright colors. She calls to them to the frightening roar of helicopters propelling through battered neighborhoods. She is the shadow of children created by searchlights, hunting down young black men. She is in the eyes of women darkened by the fist of self-hate. She is in the steel bars of jail cells that hold too many enslaved souls. She is the bruised blue skin between her people and the club that has replaced the whip. She is the raw bone of the swollen head between their spirit and the boot, the ever-present boot. She is the outcry of the people, their carbonized words embossed in an ether of an assassinated night. Urban penance, burnt offering to the inferno's smoldering daydream. She is the explosion of white heat transformed to black ash that covers a disjointed LA evening and will remain charred existence until the pale face of reaction is darkened by Mother Earth, until the dry, cracked bed of hate is moistened by honest sweat. And on these streets, the color of blood is black, and on these streets, the color of blood is brown. The color of shame is color in a colorful world that insists on colorlessness and demands decolorization zones to be enforced in minds that have become colorless. In this place, mestizaje is forbidden fruit, a new future arrested by old fear. In this place, mestizaje anticipates red alarms and green lights and waits for the signal to go. Go, go, Mango, go.
Incredible, man. Thank you for sharing that poem.
Thank you for anyone that stuck with that. Sorry, it's a bit long, but I think it's such a crazy poem.
I mean, talk about a love letter to LA. That definitely sounded like a love poem for LA. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, John. Who was the poet again?
It's Naomi Elena Quiñones. It's book, The Smoking Mirror from 1998.
The Smoking Mirror. Excellent. Yes. Thank you for sharing that with us. Any comments?
That was beautiful. I'm gonna have to pick that up and look her up.
Yeah, likewise. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that book.
Yeah, it was a great journey from the islands to LA. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, as Miss Michelle noted in the chat, I'll never look at a mango the same again.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate you sharing that poem with us. And thank you all poets and artists who are on our group here today, sharing work and you know, it's definitely a privilege to publish those who I was able to include in these two issues. One more time, just to kind of, you know, acknowledge all of the people that did actually contribute. I want to share with you all the zines themselves in their entirety. So I'm going to share my screen one last time with you all here. We'll start from the very beginning of the Aurtistic Zine. This is, again, volume 2, issue number 1, aka Advocacy, with artwork by Adolfo Reyes, our art director, as well as the work of all those listed here: Tanya, Esmeralda Flores, Jose Cardenas, Isaac Madrigal, Alex Andy Fong, Kylie Allen, Jamie Arenas, Harrison Herstick, Miss Michelle Smith, Melina Chavarria, Chris Acubulo, and Genesis Gonzalez. And so here we start off with Tanya's thoughts, our interview with Otto, Lana, some of the interior artwork there that I created for y'all. This right here is a quick little written piece by Tanya and the illustrated work that accompanies it by Esmeralda Flores. Jose Cardenas in his prose poem. A quick little written piece by Isaac Madrigal in his photo. Interview with Alex Andy Fong. Some of Alex's poetry here, haiku-like poetry. Work by Kylie Allen and Jamie Arenas. Their poem, and the interview with Harrison Herstick. Harry, here's your answers to the interview questions. Miss Michelle's interview. Miss Michelle shared a lot of great insights in her interview there, as well as her photography featuring Chris. Melina's, I would call it an essay. Melina's poem, Your Voice, that she shared earlier with us. Melina's final letter from the editor. And then our featured artists section, which is a section that Aurtistic Zine has that features work by other emerging artists who identify as being on the spectrum, but whose work doesn't necessarily go with the theme of advocacy. Here we have Flamingo Green Road by Chris Acuilo. And we have a few illustrations here by Genesis Gonzalez. And then this particular issue has some resources here for families with individuals on the spectrum. And that basically sums up Aurtistic Zine. So just as a little reminder, you can always submit to Aurtistic Zine online on the DSTL Arts website. And here we have Art Block. This is Art Block Zine, Volume 5, Issue 2, Out of the Spotlight, with cover art and other illustrations by Roque Torres, our art director, and featuring the artworks of Alex Andy Fong, Angel Cruz, Alison Segura, Yahaira Sesmas, Noah Humphrey, Wessie Vega, Funaki, Jacqueline Valenzuela, Jose in LA, Pizarro, and of course, Roque Torres, our art director, and Jeremy Arias, our editor-in-chief. Begin here with some work by Alex Andy Fong, the haiku there, some photography by Angel Cruz. This is actually a ceramics work in progress by Alison Segura, with the final piece right there. Some collaged mixed media work by Yahaira Sesmas. A poem by Noah Humphrey. Illustration by Roque. Here's an illustration by Wessie Vega. Another mixed media piece by Yahaira Sesmas. Photography by Funaki. And some paintings here by Jacqueline Valenzuela. Another piece by Angel Cruz. Another photograph by Funaki. Another mixed media collage piece by Jacqueline Valenzuela. Jose in LA's poem and accompanying photograph. Another illustration by Roque there. And we have a series of work by Fuzaro. Here his little short story / nonfiction tale about his journey in becoming an illustrator. One of his illustrations. Another illustration by Fuzaro. And his little essay here on the 5 skills they don't teach in art school. With little haiku here by Alex Andy Fong, and then a short story by our very own editor-in-chief, Jeremy Arias, as well as one of his poems. And one last thought, which is our letter from the editor for Art Block Zine, plus one final illustration by Roque Torres. And again, you can learn all about Art Block Zine on our website. All of the back issues as well as the current issues are now currently available, so feel free to pick up a copy if you like. Those of you that contributed to the zines that are being featured today specifically, you'll be getting your copies in the mail sometime this week or the following week, depending on how affected your postal service is. But I want to say thank you once again to everyone that joined us. Tanya or Jeremy, either of you have any last parting words for this?
Sure. I just, again, wanted to thank everybody for sharing their work and for continuing to support and contribute to, Aurtistic and Art Block. And just to remind everybody that we are still accepting submissions for the next issue, Creation Through Chaos, which again is more timely than anticipated, in the current climate. But we look forward to seeing what you guys do, even if, it's not necessarily through us. It's always a pleasure to put a face to the work and the words and, the imagery that you guys gift us with. It's always an honor and to be able to, see that and share it with others. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing what you guys, contribute and do in the future.
Yes, indeed. Jeremy, do you have any final words if you're still on the call here with us?
Yeah, just want to say thank you for everyone coming and for everyone for sharing their work. There were a lot of very powerful poems and a lot of beautiful work shared today. So I just want to thank everyone. Art Block also has an open call for submission. Our next theme right now is Word on the Street. We're very excited for that one. We already have a few submissions already, actually one of them from Andy Fong, and it's a very beautiful poem, I think. So thank you for that as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. In the chat, I did drop in the website for DSTL Arts. It's DSTL Arts, distillarts.org, where you can find back issues. You can find our link for subscribing to our zines, as well as the links for actually submitting artwork to be published in the next issues of either Art Block Zine or Aurtistic Zine. So thanks again, everyone. I hope you all stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.